Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today we have some big updates, beginning with Andor Season 2. So a couple of days ago, if you remember, I covered the latest viewership statistics. Following episodes 7, 8 and 9, viewership was really snowballing. But until today, we had no idea if that was going to continue for the final 3 episodes, episodes 10, 11 and 12. But the data is now in, my dear friends, and depending on the way you want to interpret these metrics, it's both good news and bad news. Let's begin with the good. In the week following the finale, so May 16th to May 22nd, Andor Season 2 was able to maintain a top 10 Luminate spot. It began the season right at the bottom, then it moved to number 4, and then number 2. Fans were hoping it'd reach number 1, but for the final 3 episodes, it moved down to number 5. Still a remarkable achievement, but compared to the week before it saw a 23% decline in minutes watched. It's very easy to get down about this and say, why didn't the finale get the same kind of viewership? Because with only 2 other exceptions to date, The Acolyte and The Mandalorian Season 3, viewership on Star Wars finales tend to see a massive hike. That wasn't the case in this instance. To be fair, it was always going to be a challenge to top the Gorman arc. Mon Mothma's speech alone went viral, even beyond Star Wars spaces, and both episodes 8 and 9 are ranked as 2 of the top Star Wars episodes of any TV show on IMDb. And Season 2 broke a ratings record, 5 episodes in a row with a rating of 9.5 or higher. It was going to be hard to top. But we need to consider 2 major factors. Number 1, immediate viewership numbers aren't as important as we think. And number 2, the impact of Andor's second season has been immense, more than any other show in recent memory, and this time for good reasons. I would say in the eyes of many fans, Andor has reinvigorated the Star Wars franchise. There is hope again. There are tens of thousands jumping back on Battlefront 2, rewatching their favourite Star Wars movies. The fandom feels alive again. Andor's reputation is going to grow. Word of mouth is going to continue to spread, viewership is going to go up in the next few months and years, and so this is nothing to be down about. This is a pretty major victory, especially after a time where it felt as though Star Wars was, well, I don't want to say dead, but really scraping the barrel, and only a few diehard fans were paying attention to what was going on with Star Wars because, for so many who'd given up, for a minute it seemed unsalvageable. Even good content like Andor's first season or Skeleton Crew weren't being watched. There was a shocking realization around 2 years ago, but really exaggerated in 2024, that Lucasfilm just couldn't put the Star Wars label on something and expect fans to show up. Those days were long gone, and they'd have to do something drastic to get fans to trust them again. The decline was getting really embarrassing. So it's been so great to see not just the diehard fans return, but the casual audience fall in love with Star Wars again. And I know after my last video a few of you said, Meg, you're being way too optimistic. But I do think it's going to have a ripple effect. The other day I spoke about the long break that Star Wars has between now and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and that's just another opportunity for fans to be craving more Star Wars content, and also for fans to discover for the first time Andor and watch it till the end. It solves a huge oversaturation problem. And just a little anecdote on this, I have some lifelong friends who really loved Star Wars back in the day during the prequel trilogy, and we used to talk about Star Wars in the lead up to the sequels even, and just how intensely excited we were, how between the expanded universe stories and everything they could do with the main characters of Luke, Han and Leia, the sky was the limit. I remained a Star Wars fan, but many of those after episodes 7, 8 and 9 really dropped off. And until about a week ago, I hadn't heard them talk about Star Wars since the Grogu reveal in The Mandalorian's first episode. That is the difference one good Star Wars story can make. So yes, this show is going to grow. It may have finished number 5 and lost a bit of viewership in the initial first week after the last episodes. It may never have made number 1 according to Variety.com, but that is still a huge achievement, and we really are experiencing a dramatic shift in the way fans are talking about Star Wars. It's ironic because it's the only series where we know the final outcome. We know what happens to the protagonist in Rogue One, and yet, somehow talking about this show doesn't feel like a dead end. I mean, look at all the conversations going on social media. All the theories, speculation, breakdowns of the smallest details, YouTube videos from myself and others on the platform. We haven't felt this in a very long while, my friends. Even for shows that had positive reception. Look at Skeleton Crew, an amazing series which I love. The second it finished, conversations and theories faded away within a couple of days. There was nothing really left to say, although the series itself was very well written, definitely in my top 5. Same with Mando Season 3. People love to hate on it, but it definitely also had its fans. But when it was over, we didn't talk about it with the same amount of passion that we did after season 2. And after the separation at the end of the second season, we wanted to know, was Grogu going to become a Jedi? And fans wanted to see an entire season of Din Djarin on his own, but we never got to see that. They reunited way too fast, and not even in their own show. So a lot of these nicks along the way took a toll on fan trust of certain creatives, and Lucasfilm's overall ability to produce consistently good content. That is where Andor is different. There was no decline in quality between seasons, and now it's a finished product that many consider a 10 out of 10. And the audience that Andor is drawing in is going to create new hype and be beneficial to everything after it. But can Lucasfilm now match the expectation, do things differently this time round? Don't kill the hype. Like I said, the ripple effect. Maybe Ahsoka season 2 is going to benefit from it. It sent a message to Disney. This is what Star Wars fans want. Star Wars isn't a genre. It's a universe. You can deviate from the standard tropes and really be daring with your storytelling as long as it's good. And another reason these numbers are nothing to worry about is Andor is one of the very first Disney Plus series with some serious rewatch figures. If I'm not mistaken, The Mandalorian Season 1 is still the most rewatched live-action show, but I think that could change. Andor Season 2 is giving it a run for its money. I believe it's going to have amazing long-term results. These are just initial numbers. For all we know, the week after this, Andor saw another spike, the same way it did for the Gorman episodes. The most important thing this season did was get more people interested in Star Wars again. Given Disney's track record, I'm very nervous they're not going to take away the right message from this, but they need to take it seriously. The Star Wars universe deserves the quality of someone like Tony Gilroy. Even if he's not coming back, it deserves the level of care and attention he gave this show. And take note of fan concerns that, after Andor, there'll be nothing of this caliber ever again. I don't buy into the idea that everything by Dave Filoni is terrible, but ease fan concerns and strive for this level of Star Wars every time, even if the target audience isn't the same. But what I'm trying to say is, with this data, it's rather incomplete. It only covers the initial response, not the long-term data. I'm actually considering doing a video ranking all of the different Disney Plus live-action Star Wars shows. If you want to see me do a video like that, let me know in the comments down below. But now, my dear friends, we have another development on the Battlefront III situation. As you're probably aware at this point, there are a record number of players returning to Battlefront 2, and there's been a campaign to make number 3 happen. It seemed like a statistical impossibility despite the surge, considering the problems with the second game, the sales numbers, fan backlash to microtransactions, etc. But now there is something of a positive update. One of the developers on the first 2 games has spoken out. They've seen what's been going on, and they want to return for a 3rd installment. Matt Helgholm said, "We want to get the gang back together." So he's giving fans hope, and that is what rebellions are built on. And this is being run as a story as if this could really happen. I'm not saying it couldn't, but he also warns this rally of players going back to the game could lead to nothing, and he personally doesn't expect an announcement. But if fans want it, we have to keep pushing. The most recent Steam numbers are getting insane. The Battlefront titles allow players to play as their favourite Star Wars characters across different game modes, open battles, lightsaber fights, armies clashing against one another, and it's an immersive multiplayer experience that allows you to immerse yourself into the Star Wars universe. And with evolving technology and how long ago Battlefront 2 was released, one can only imagine how amazing a 3rd game would look like, especially with all of the Disney Plus spin-offs. Imagine skins, maps, and campaigns relating to Mando, Andor, Skeleton Crew, and maybe even future projects like The Mandalorian and Grogu and Star Wars Starfighter, the movie by Sean Levy with Ryan Gosling. But I keep my fingers crossed, Disney will be inspired to make the 3rd game. I've said it before and I'll say it again, a 3rd game would absolutely explode. What do you guys think? Share your thoughts on all of today's updates in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.